Hey everyone, Michael O'Brien here, and today we're going to talk about how to take that magic effect that you already bought and make it your own. Hello my friends, and welcome back to another episode of Advice for Magicians, where my job is to make you the best possible entertainers that you can be. Now, have you ever purchased a magic trick and you got the trick, you took all of the props out, you're watching the tutorial, and maybe you're realizing, this isn't really for me. That move that you're doing is a little bit too difficult for my skill level, or maybe I didn't quite like the way that you presented this. I'm sure that has happened to you. It's happened to me even recently with an effect that I purchased called Socks. You guys might have seen it. It was performed on BGT, and basically it's a trick with sock playing cards. Spectators pick the sock cards and you're hyping it up the whole time like they're gonna match, and then you reveal that they don't match, so it looks like you screwed up, only to then reveal that you're actually wearing the socks on the cards that they picked. It's a really, really cool effect, but I wasn't a huge fan of the method. So what I did was I reworked the routine. I kind of started from scratch and I came up with my own way of performing it that works well for me. It uses moves that I'm already comfortable with, but the heart of the routine is still very much the same. The socks don't match each other, but they match the socks that I'm wearing on my feet, right? So it's really, really easy to do this. All you have to do is just take the effect and come up with your own presentation for it. And in this video, I'm going to show you guys kind of from scratch a cool way that you can do this using a product of mine that I've created called Sus, using these Among Us cards, right? The original handling uses the 8-card brainwave as sort of the engine to perform the effect. Some people have said, 8-card brainwave isn't quite my bag, but they kind of like the idea of using these Among Us cards. So what I'm gonna do now in this video is I'm gonna show you an alternate performance, as well as teach you guys how to do it using these Among Us cards. And if you guys like the cards, if you guys like the presentation and you want to pick this up, I'll leave links in the description below to where you could purchase the effect, as well as link you to the first look video so you guys can get a deeper dive into what these Among Us cards actually are. So for now, let's go ahead and dive into the tutorial. All right, so let's take a look here. We have some of these little cards with these different little colored crewmates on them. And for those of you who have never played Among Us, it's a very simple game. Basically, the job is you have all of these different crewmates here. They're going through a spaceship. They're completing various tasks. Only one of them is different. One of them, their job is to sabotage all of the other crewmates, kill everybody, and win the game. That person is called the imposter. Now, whenever one of these crewmates does something that's sort of out of the ordinary here, someone hits the emergency button and calls an emergency meeting to see if we could figure out which of these is the imposter, right? So we have all of these different crewmates here, and we're not quite sure which is the imposter. So in order to narrow it down, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of go back and forth, and we're going to choose ones that we think might be safe, right? And ultimately, we'll let each other decide to make all of the moves here. So I'll point to any two of these and you decide which one you think might be safe, right? So maybe I point to these two, green and brown. You think brown is safe, so I'll set him aside over here. Then maybe you point to two, maybe you point to pink and black. Well, I think black is safe, so I'm gonna put that one right over here. And then I point to two, how about red and orange? You think orange is safe, so we'll set that one there. Same thing, you point to two, you think blue and green, so I think green is safe, so I'll go ahead and set that one there. And then I point to two, I point to these two here, and you think maybe pink is safe, so you put that one there. Well, now we're down to our last two here, right? We have red and blue. Now I could point to two, but obviously we already know that there's only two left. So instead what we'll do is we'll let fate decide, and all I want you to do is just place one into my hand. It doesn't matter which one. Let's just say you place this one right here into my hand, right? So that means the only one left is the blue one. Now I forgot to show you the backs of the cards here. If you look at the backs of all the cards, they all say crewmate. Crewmate, crewmate, crewmate. All of them are the same on the back. They all say crewmate, except of course for one card, which on the back says imposter, and it is the card that you guys picked. Now, this is not at all what I teach in the tutorial when I teach this. In fact, if you guys like, again, I encourage you to watch the first look video, because I'm going to give you guys an in-depth explanation on this, as well as show you a performance of what the Among Us routine looks like in its original version. But what this does here is this takes a very old concept called the PATEO Force by Roy Baker, also known as the Pick 2, Eliminate 1 Force. And basically it now turns this trick where you had to learn a little bit of sleight of hand into a completely self-working thing. But the heart of the routine is the same, which is there is an imposter here, and you got to figure out which one is the imposter. So you can do this with anything, but in this presentation, we're going to use our Among Us cards. Again, if you don't already have these cards and you like this and you want to pick these cards up, I'll leave a link in the description below to where you guys can find these. But the idea is very, very simple. All of these cards say crewmate on the back except for the blue one, which says imposter, right? So I'm just gonna give these a little mix, a little shuffle, right? And I'm just gonna kind of place them all on the board, not necessarily in any particular order, but I'm gonna talk about the emergency meeting button as well. So we're gonna kind of set up this little emergency meeting here. If you want, you can even have them laid out so they're like, you know, like in a circle around the meeting, kind of like they're all sitting at a table, right? And you got to figure out which one is the imposter. And in order to do this, what we're going to do is we're going to start eliminating ones that we think are safe. And this is where that PATEO Force comes in, because it's 100% self-working and it's based on the equivoke, or the magician's choice, right? So how does this work? It's very simple. I'm going to point to 2, and then they are going to eliminate 1. They're going to eliminate the one that they think is safe. Whenever I point to 2, I just want to make sure I point to any 2 that are not the blue one, right? Because the blue one is our imposter. So I'll leave this one face down here with the imposter side showing so you guys can see, right? So I'm going to point to any 2. So I might point to green and pink. It doesn't matter which one they eliminate because it's not going to be the imposter. So let's just say they eliminate the pink one. Now it's their turn to point to any 2. It doesn't matter which 2 they point to. Let's just say they point to orange and black. I can pick whichever one I want and I can eliminate it, right? Now I'll point to 2. Let's just say I point to brown and red, right? So now they might eliminate the red one. Now, let's just say there's a situation where they point to 2 and one of them is the imposter. Well, that's really simple. I'm just gonna make sure to eliminate the one that's not the imposter. So if they point to black and blue, I'm just gonna eliminate the black one. You wanna make sure to never point to the imposter though, because there is a chance that they might accidentally eliminate the imposter, right? So I'm always gonna point to the 2 that are not the imposter. When they point to 2, if they point to the imposter, I'm just gonna eliminate the one that's not the imposter. So now we're down to 2, right? We've eliminated all of these. We just have 2 left. We have our imposter and another random crewmate, right? I'll put this one face down so you guys can see. We have our imposter and another random crewmate. It doesn't matter which one they point to. We need to eliminate the one that is not the imposter. So the best way to do this is to just hold out your hand and say, without saying anything, just pick up one of the cards and place it into my hand. So let's just say they pick up the imposter and place it into my hand. I'm gonna hold this one up and say that this is the sole survivor, and I'm just gonna casually eliminate this one. Now, let's just say they pick up the other one and put it into my hand. I'm just going to eliminate that one, leaving us with the sole survivor, which is the blue one here, right? So let's do that one more time from the start so you guys can see. It doesn't really matter the order or anything. We can just lay these all out on the table just like this, right? And you can show that there are 7 possibilities, 1 imposter, and they're all surrounding this emergency meeting button that we had hit right here at the start. So I'm gonna point to 2. I'm gonna say these 2 I think are safe, but which one do you agree? Do you agree red or brown? They'll say red. Perfect, we'll eliminate that one. And then now it's their turn to point to 2. So let's just say they point to blue and black. Now blue is the imposter, so we can't eliminate that one. I'm gonna eliminate black. Now I point to 2, brown and pink. Let's just say they eliminate pink. Now they point to 2, let's just say they point to these 2 here, green and orange. And we'll eliminate that one. Now I point to two, these two here, and they eliminate that one. So that leaves us down to two now, right? So we've already eliminated all of these. We're just down to the last two. And in this case, I say pick one of them up and put them into my hand. Let's just say they pick up blue. I eliminate this one and reveal blue. Let's just say they pick up orange and put it into my hand. I say perfect, we'll go ahead and eliminate that one, leaving us with the last one on the table is blue. You can now reveal that all of these cards all say crewmate on the back, except for the one card that is the sole survivor, which is the imposter. So as you guys just saw, you can really use this PATEO Force method, this pick two, eliminate one, with anything, right? So you can have a bunch of playing cards on the table, and you can say, I have a prediction inside of an envelope. You shuffle up the cards, you go through this whole process, and then the last card that's left, let's just say it's the 7 of hearts, and then inside of an envelope is the 7 of hearts, right? So you can really do this with anything. This sock routine that I was telling you guys about, you can play this game through to whittle it down to the last 2 socks. And the last 2 socks that are left on the table are the ones that match, and then you reveal if they don't match, and then you reveal that you're actually wearing the socks on the cards that they chose, right? So you can use this method for a variety of different things. Now, the lesson here is that you can easily take a method or a concept that you're already comfortable with and inject it into these other pieces of magic that you're purchasing. Maybe you purchased a piece of magic, and again, just like me with the method for socks, I wasn't too comfortable with the way that he taught it. So what I did was I came up with my own way of doing it. Just with this here, with the Among Us presentation, some people have told me, yeah, I really like the idea, but I'm not super comfortable with the 8-card brainwave. Or for me, just doing the 8-card brainwave didn't feel natural, or maybe I performed it and someone caught me on it or something, right? Well, this could be an alternate way to do it while still having the exact same effect, right? A imposter among a sea of crewmates. So if you guys like this idea, but you're not keen too much on the method, maybe you can use this method instead. So I highly recommend that you guys go check out Sus by myself, presented by Deuce Gala, if you guys haven't already done so. Again, links in the description below. Let me know what kinds of cool ideas that you guys can use. Maybe if you want to inject this PATEO Force into your own magic that you're doing. I'd love to hear from you guys what you're planning to do with it. If you haven't already liked this channel, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, I highly recommend that you do so. Please share this video with your friends so that they can check it out as well. And stick around, because I got some pretty cool stuff coming out just around the corner, just for you guys. All kinds of advice for magicians videos, reviews, and more. I'll see you next time.